Hello, welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Kodandi, and today we are going to talk about ego death because, sometimes people come to me with these questions, and I'm just like, what are we gonna do? Well, so let's just talk about this, okay? Ego death. Ego death is not a concept that comes from Hinduism or Buddhism. Ego death is a concept that comes from the psychedelic drug community, and it comes from Western psychology. Ego death does not translate into anything or correlate with anything or match up or correspond with anything in Hinduism or Buddhism. It is very specifically an experience from the psychedelic drug community, and the language that's used to describe ego death, even, ego, that is a word, a vocabulary that comes from Western psychology. This is not an Eastern spiritual concept. This is a Western psychological psychedelic drug concept. Some of you might be very, very unhappy with what I have to say, but I'm going to be very, very honest here with you. Because it's like I am an actual practicing Hindu. I have spent quite a lot of time in a Hindu monastery. I am currently living in a Hindu monastery, living a Hindu monastic lifestyle. And if you come to someone who is living a Hindu monastic lifestyle and ask about a, psychedelic drug question, like, I'm going to tell you exactly what we're talking about here. So, ego death, the experience that the word ego death describes, is a very extreme form of dissociation. Dissociation is an experience that a lot of people might experience during trauma. That if you have an extreme trauma towards your body, something like maybe a car accident or sometimes a sexual assault, something, very extreme towards your body, it is a function of the human psychology that your mind will sometimes just sort of, eject your awareness from your body in order to kind of protect your psychology. And so you'll have this kind of out-of-body, dissociated experience if you're in a car accident or if you're being sexually assaulted, something like that, something really extreme and traumatic. This experience might also happen again if you're having PTSD. If you have a PTSD flashback, you might also experience a form of dissociation like that. And this type of psychological dissociation, if you're experiencing it in the form of PTSD or trauma, it might be really terrifying. It might be really horrifying. It might be incredibly difficult. It might make your life incredibly difficult. When my PTSD was really bad, and I was experiencing this, it was incredibly difficult. It was really scary, and it was really unpleasant. Now, if you're taking psychedelic drugs, the psychedelic drugs might trigger your psychology, your mind, to stimulate this kind of experience. But in this case, you're high on drugs. So it's a pleasant experience. And so, or maybe it's not. Maybe you're having a bad trip, I don't know. But from, drug trip reports that people give, most people report that it's a pleasant experience. Having this, ego death, sort of dissociation. They feel like this kind of extreme dissociation is a pleasant experience, that it's not terrifying or unpleasant in any way. But it is still essentially the same kind of psychological experience and the same sort of psychological mechanism that's happening as if you were like in a car accident or having this other kind of trauma. And I don't know, I mean, brains are funny, I don't know. Maybe someone else has figured out why the brain does this, but I don't know what it is. And so you come down from your drug experience, and your consciousness hasn't gone anywhere. You have not become enlightened. You've simply had a psychological experience. And because you were high while you had it, it was a pleasant psychological experience. And so when you go around, like, sometimes you'll run into people that, like, they did LSD or whatever once and had an ego death experience and now believe that they're enlightened and are, spouting out whatever. And these are the kinds of people that are the absolute most deluded people you will ever meet. That these people are absolutely clueless. And like, I'm sorry, but this is not like a traditional religious spiritual experience. You had a psychological experience. You have not become a mystical being from the Himalayas. You are not suddenly an enlightened yogi. You did drugs and had a psychological experience. It really makes me sad sometimes how deluded people have become. And there's a lot of reasons why I think this has happened. There's a lot of reasons why I think this has happened. It's something I've really, in studying the history of Hinduism and Buddhism, Eastern religions in the West, I've seen some very distinct, specific patterns in how Western people relate to Eastern religions, and I can really see where people have gone wrong and really fucked up and gone into delusion instead of going into the religion correctly and properly and benefited from it and become enlightened, that they've turned into these like delusional drug seekers. If you are the kind of person that has been doing psychedelic drugs, searching for a spiritual experience, and you've been having, ego death or these other type of spiritual experiences, but you feel like something is missing, maybe you want to detox from this, and maybe you want to get off those substances and try an actual third eye opening experience. What I can suggest, first of all, Haritaki powder will detox you from psychedelic drugs and allow you to properly awaken your third eye. And also in the description, in the show more section underneath this video, you will see links to programs that my guru offers. One of them is called Paramashivam, and I don't know when you're watching this video or what the available schedule for that program is at that time, but at the time of me filming this video, it is available online, and they're running it, I believe they're running it as a 16-day program online, and just, register for the time that's convenient for you to do the program, and you will be able to have an authentic third eye awakening experience that does not require, these kinds of substances, where you will be able to have an experience and genuinely connect and genuinely learn how to live a spiritual lifestyle without having to use drugs and do all these ridiculous things and have all of these kinds of confusing and delusional drug experiences. So that is what I have to say about ego death, and if you don't like it, well, I just simply don't care. So, okay. Nithyanandam.